Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no frills, no whistles, no bells, just a man, a camera, and his game. Today we're continuing through our play of the Greater East Asia Co-Prosperity Sphere. Ooh, that's a tongue-tied twister. It's 1942. Now, I do want to mention I did mess up one rule at the end of the last video. At the end of the last video, I had forgotten after the declaration of war, when the U.S. declares war, in order to lobby Congress, they have to take the number on the turn track, which was 3, and subtract it from 6, and that's how many cards they have to discard. However, if Japan has already declared war on the Commonwealth, you subtract 1 from that number, so it should have been 2. So what I did was, to make up for that, once I realized I had done it, I eliminated my last 2 moves with production. So I flipped the battleship here back over to 1 step, and I took the battleship off the production chart to do that. So again, I've already pulled the cards, so let's just get straight into it here on this turn. For Japan, I chose 2 production and 2 naval action cards because I still have the oil here in Borneo. I can use those for land actions as I see fit. And for the Allied side this time, it's a pretty balanced hand. I've got 3 production cards, 3 naval actions, and then I have all 4 CBI cards. Because again, Japan is still putting a lot of pressure on the Commonwealth there. Now, with my solo method, I just want to mention one other thing, is that part of the reason I roll the die is because of all the conflicting forces, the coordination of the Allies. Dr. Michael Myers' excellent book about contingent victory, about the Pacific War, has a great chapter about how difficult it was for the Allies to coordinate things and organize things. And if you think about it, that's one of the reasons the Allies won the war, is that they were able to organize and streamline things better than Japan and Germany, which is kind of ironic because you would think with a centralized government they'd be able to, but they kind of had, well, especially Nazi Germany, they kind of had like fiefdoms, if you will, within the government. Hitler always did that divide and conquer kind of ruling, and actually so did Stalin for that matter. But the Soviet Union, of course, is another story for another time. So, sorry to digress. Let's get back into the game. So, the Allies, their opening card this turn, they are choosing a naval action. Well, now again, key to Japan's victory at the end of the game is control of spaces. So I'm kind of tempted with the Allies here to just go up and either grab Truk or grab the Marshall Islands, just to grab the space. But I do need to continue to still build up because the Allies just do not have a whole lot of naval units yet. So I think that's what I'll do. I could also play the replacement aspect of the card. Again, most cards have several options that you could choose from. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab the Marshall Islands and force the Japanese to do something here. And of course the U.S. goes first now because they've declared war in the operations phase. Now from Japan's perspective, I'm hanging on to things I need to be hanging on to here. But I also need to keep up, as David Bowie and Queen would say, you know, pressure. Dun, 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 dun. So, what to do here? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and launch a land offensive and keep the pressure on Calcutta and also on the Chinese, especially before the British air unit gets there. So I will use one of my oil resources. So I flip the mark over to its one oil side, and I'm going to move these 2 guys on Rangoon and attack. Now I won't get the bonus this time for the Japanese because the air unit is here in the Philippines, and it's only 1 space away that you get the air power influence. So Japan will attack. They've got technically altogether 3 steps, firing at 3 or less. No hits. It was trip 4s. Ooh, that's not good. Let's hope the Commonwealth does not get any hits. And they missed 2. So basically, no harm, no foul there, except wasting, of course, an action. So, and of course, land units retreat back to the space they came from if they're unsuccessful. From the attacker's perspective, interesting. So apparently there seems to be a need somewhere in the government to make some noise, as it were. So, another naval action. Well, with the 2 naval cards I have left, I can do a replacement, but I can also do a strategic move. I could bring that air unit there and bring Truk under control, because an air unit would be able to, but of course I have to physically occupy Truk first. But I could do that next by climbing up the Solomon chain. You know what? I'm going to use the naval action card that gives me the replacement. And I'm going to flip the battleship here and get it ready for action, so to speak. All right, now, the last offensive there failed pretty badly. I mean, as Japan, I could go ahead and go after Midway, but I really feel like I need that other land-based air unit. So I'm going to go ahead and play a production card and get that on the track. And again, I'll turn it because I won't be able to get it till 1943 at the earliest. Okay, from the Allies' perspective, this time they're doing production. Now, production needs stuff, lots of stuff. So the Allies are going to go ahead and they're going to build a battleship and try to get that moving there. Let's see now. Japan. What to do. Well, I could go down and grab the Marianas. I have enough ships for it. I could do a strategic redeployment. I could bring those Marines over there and try to flank around Rangoon. But then I also have pressure from the Chinese, so it may not be the best idea. I could also move my guy on the track forward, my Marines, to try and bring them into the game. Decisions. You know what? I think I will actually go ahead and do that. I think I will go ahead and I will use my production card, move my Marines up one space, and get them into the game, because I'm thinking about pushing my perimeter out a little bit further. Doggone Marianas, though, in the middle there is really kind of annoying me right now, to be completely honest. Allies. Going back to the CBI theater. Well, honestly, out in the CBI theater, I think the smartest thing to do is to start building. Now, you know what? Let's bring the air unit into the game. Move it over a box and bring it into Calcutta to make life more difficult on the Japanese forces. Alright. Now, Japan. And I am playing these back and forth because I'm still kind of toying in my head with the mechanism for passing. I probably want to make a dice roll range and stuff like that, depending on number of cards left in the Allies' hand, that sort of thing. Okay. So now, what I think I will do next is I will use my last oil, and I'm going to do a strategic move with 3 units. I'm going to take the Marine, take the battleship, when I get a hold of them. The counters are fairly small, so if you're a guy like me with big fingers, yeah, be ready for that. And I'm going to move them all down to Borneo. And I'll just follow the chain there, Okinawa, Philippines, down to there. And now I'm going to go over, and I might even attack Townsville at this point, and see if I can knock out that. Got to get that perimeter established well. Alright. The U.S. is going with a naval action again. I guess they're not willing to wait to see what the Japanese are about to do. Now, they could go ahead and block at Port Moresby and hope for the best there. Try to bleed down the Japanese forces, maybe some. That could be risky business, though. But you know what? I think that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and take the carrier and the battleship. I could take the infantry too, but I don't want to leave Samoa just with an air unit, because if a unit moves into a space with an air unit by itself, then yeah, the air unit's automatically destroyed. You don't want that happening, because then you lose the space. So I'll go that way. All right. Well, so the U.S. is blocked. Now the question becomes, fix my battleship up here in Japan, do I want to go ahead, and I could concentrate by bringing the CV in Singapore over one space. Or I could just go with what I have, and then I could use the air unit to continue to control Borneo. You know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for the big naval battle. So I'll play one of my naval cards here. Ooh, that's true. I won't be able, if I want to bring my Marines, I can't bring... Haha, I can only bring 3 units. Let's go for the naval fight first. I'll worry about bringing the Marines later. So that's my naval action. So here we go. So nobody has an air unit nearby, so this is just a straight up fight. So here we go. Japanese carrier, 2 steps, firing 3 or less. Oh, it's a 5 and a 4. Uh-oh. Let's see if the U.S. can find the Japanese carriers. Marco! Nope. Nobody said polo. It's a 6 and a 5, so nothing decisive there. Okay, here come the battleships now. Japan has 4 steps worth of battleships. 2 of that. And they got 2 hits out of it, which will let them destroy the battleships, which is good. Whoops, there goes one of the dice on the floor. Charge it with desertion. But the U.S. battleship rolled 2 4s, so no dice. So the U.S., they did block the move, but they also lost their battleship in the process. So the Japanese will have to move their naval units to the retreat box. That's the benefit of that. And the U.S. will hang on. So I'll have to use another move to get them out of the retreat box and back onto the map. Curses! So Townsville will be safe again, at least for one more turn. All right. Let's see what the Allies are going to do here next. Allies are going CBI again. Well, I think the smart thing to do for CBI now is, after what the Japanese just did, flip this guy at Townsville and get him up to full strength. All right, now, excuse me, Japan-wise. I could use a strategic movement and bring those 3 guys back onto the map, but I'm going to be able to do that here at the end of the turn anyway. But all I have is naval actions left. Curses. So I can do a strategic move with this card, a naval move, or I can do naval replacement. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and flip this battleship in Singapore and get him up to full strength. I don't necessarily like the move, but it doesn't make sense to take the guys out of the retreated box because I have no actions left. All right. See what the Allies are going to do here, what order they're going to have their cards next. Next is a production card. And the Allies really have got to get some more things rolling here. At this point, they do have 2 aircraft carriers, so I'm going to bring another battleship into play. From there, another CBI card. The Japanese do have a nice wall established here. I could bring the British naval unit back to kind of keep pressure there. Or I could flip the Chinese land unit, or I could bring the Chinese air unit in. You know what? I'll flip the Chinese land unit just to kind of keep pressure here on Shanghai from 2 different directions. Okay, now there's another CBI card here. What to do with that? Well, I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and build the Chinese air unit. We'll rotate it since it's the first turn on the track, leaving me 1 production card left. And I think with that last production card, Marine or air. I'm not thinking carrier at this point because it'll take a while to get carriers into the game. I've got 2 carriers and that's it. I should have maybe built more earlier, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. And again, that kind of simulates the whole thing. You know, what if the U.S. had not been planning ahead? You know, what if there had been a harder struggle between battleship and aircraft carrier, you know, exponents in the U.S. Navy? So, again, I mean, I know my solo method isn't perfect, but it's not supposed to be. That's the point, rather. You know, it's supposed to just simulate the possibilities, what someone could do. You know, so. The air unit can really project a lot of power and augment things. But I could use the Marines to grab spaces and hold on to them, especially trucking the Marshals, which would decrease Japan's control areas. I'm going to go with the Marines. I'm going to put the Marines on the track, and I won't bother to rotate them simply because that's the end of the operations phase. All right, so now I'm at the point, of course, where turn's over, and now I would redeploy everybody strategically. So let's see. You know, this is always such a delicate maneuver to do and stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do it off map. Because I'm trying to figure out the critical things, like should I leave the American carrier in Port Moresby, which I could do. You can leave one in a non-port space. You know, excuse me, should I redeploy the U.S. Air? You know, that's important. And more importantly is, where do I put the Japanese units in the retreated box? I got 2 battleships and a carrier up there. I got to find the best spot to put them. And do I redeploy my air unit in the Philippines? Is my advances against the Commonwealth, is that pretty much over? Should I just be looking to grab spaces? Actually, Ceylon in that sense is a free space next turn because there's no Navy over there still. That's something to think about. But then I have to divert assets. Okay, so kind of stream of consciousness on that. But those are the things I'm going to be thinking about here off camera as I get ready to prepare for 1943. So this is Tim Korchnoi, again, from Bare Bones Wargaming, wishing you victory and good gaming. See you next time.